Hello everyone, Aman here from Mr. Phone, and in this video, let's talk in detail about the Xiaomi 12 Pro, the phone that has my heart, that has all my attention, that has my main SIM card inside. Yes, you heard that right. My primary phone right now is not a Samsung Galaxy and it's not an iPhone. Instead, it is the Xiaomi 12 Pro, and I'm having a superb experience with this device day in and day out. Now, before we get rolling and I tell you all the good and bad about this smartphone, consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos, and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. Now, let's get started. Ever since Xiaomi entered India, the brand has long dominated the budget and mid-range segment with a variety of devices on offer, and good devices honestly. However, flagship devices haven't exactly clicked that much for the company. Now, last year Xiaomi did release the Mi 11 Ultra, the company's full-blown flagship for 2021, and while it wasn't the perfect front-runner device, it was enough to cement Xiaomi's position as a premium smartphone maker. Fast forward to 2022 and I feel Xiaomi has finally arrived with the 12 Pro, and this flagship smartphone has left me in so much awe that I just couldn't resist and put my main SIM card inside it. So starting with the design and build, you get a glass sandwich approach with curved front and rear panels, and by the way, this phone has made me appreciate the curved panels all over again. However, I will strongly suggest anyone who buys this phone to tweak the accidental touch settings, because with the default settings, the palm rejection does get a bit finicky. I also won't deny that this is a slippery smartphone, but I will also admit that I'm okay with the trade-off because the 12 Pro is simply a pleasure to use and hold in the hand. Moving on, at the front, there's Gorilla Glass Victus protection, while the rear is protected by Gorilla Glass 5. And the rear panel has this satin or say velvety kind of a finish that is super smooth to the touch and ever so slightly shimmers whenever light falls on it, which of course makes the device look elegant and classy. I also love the subtle design of the camera module, definitely a welcome change over the Mi 11 Ultra's camera module, and quite frankly, this protruding camera deco looks so beautiful that currently I think the Xiaomi 12 Pro has the best rear looks in the flagship segment. Now, in the midst of this, I totally forget to tell you that this here is the noir black color of the 12 Pro that Xiaomi sent me, but this phone also comes in a couture blue and the mesmerizing opera mauve finish, which is my personal favorite. Good things aside, now the only missing element here is the lack of an IP rating, although I am guessing that this phone should be able to withstand IP53 levels of water resistance and dust resistance, but don't quote me on this. This phone doesn't come with an official IP rating, but as I'm saying that the only missing element here is the lack of an IP rating that I feel should have been added in a phone at this price point. On a positive note, the Xiaomi 12 Pro, like other Xiaomi phones, features an IR blaster that lets you control your TV, AC and many other appliances from the phone itself, and this is something none of its competitors have. Moving on, let's talk about this gorgeous display at the front. So this right here is a tall 20:9 display. It's a 6.7 inches diagonal. It's an E5 AMOLED display and you also get 10-bit colors. Then there's a 120Hz refresh rate along with the LTPO 2.0 tech, which makes it smartly switch between 1 to 120Hz for battery efficiency. Additionally, peak brightness goes up to 1500 nits, there's HDR10 support, Dolby Vision, Widevine L1, MEMC, and the list goes on. Overall guys, it's a well-calibrated panel that reproduces superb colors, punchy contrast and deep blacks. Be it movies, shows or games or anything that you are consuming on the screen, it's an absolute joy on the Xiaomi 12 Pro's display. And complementing this gorgeous display are the excellent sounding quad speaker system found on the smartphone, tuned by Herman Kardon. So you get a tweeter plus woofer combo on both the top and bottom of this phone, and the speaker grills are also designed in the form of a waveform that looks super dope. So as you just heard the sound samples, the OnePlus 10 Pro, a very similar spec smartphone to the 12 Pro, has an amazing sounding speaker system that's also slightly louder than the Xiaomi 12 Pro. However, it is the Xiaomi's output that's richer, clearer and produces better lows. And it's not just against the OnePlus 10 Pro. Instead, I also tested the audio output of the smartphone against the Samsung Galaxy S22 and the iPhone 13 Pro, and trust me, those two phones are the best right now, on the market, that sound amazing. But ever so slightly, I felt the audio output was richer, and also the audio separation was much better on the Xiaomi 12 Pro in comparison to all the smartphones that I just mentioned. On to the performance bit, the Xiaomi 12 Pro is powered by the infamous Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. There are two variants on offer, an 8GB RAM version that is priced at 62,999 rupees, and there's a 12GB RAM variant that costs 66,999 rupees. Storage is standard at 256GB for both variants. Now we all know the kind of a hot mess, no pun intended, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset is, but thanks to the large vapor chamber and the 3 graphite sheets inside, basically the cooling system inside the Xiaomi 12 Pro, and along with the good optimization, surprisingly this phone does not run wildly hot. So practically, thermal management has been very good for all the general things such as calling, browsing, checking up on social media, or even video calling. Now that's the easy stuff, but even when it comes to playing high performance games such as Call of Duty Mobile or BGMI and the likes, the Xiaomi 12 Pro is able to crunch through the graphics and gives a phenomenal performance. Now even while playing long sessions of matches for over an hour or two, the phone only gets warm, which shows that the cooling system inside this phone does a pretty good job. But generally also, barring a few minor hiccups here and there, I did not notice the phone throttling during these gaming sessions, and again I would reiterate that I'm talking about the long gaming sessions. Moving on, at the heart of things is the MIUI 13 software, which time and again I've said, if mated to potent hardware, is one of the fun custom Android skins to play around with. And on the Xiaomi 12 Pro, MIUI 13 based on Android 12 works like a charm. Animations and transitions are buttery smooth. The skin is of course feature rich, but most importantly, it is the fluid software experience that has impressed me the most. The best part still is the fact that with the 12 Pro, Xiaomi promises a total of 3 main OS upgrades and 4 security patches, which I think is great news. But apart from this, one thing I will nitpick in MIUI 13 is that 3 of my most used apps, that is YouTube, Netflix and Prime Video, these apps only work in 60Hz and not in 120Hz. So I guess Xiaomi can fix this via software patch. Finally, in terms of battery life, the 4600 mAh cell also does not disappoint. See, if you decide to use this phone with Quad HD Plus resolution, this phone should be able to last you one day on a single charge with about 5 hours of screen on time. I mean, that's the maximum I was able to hit with Quad HD Plus resolution. And to let you guys know, my usage generally involves lots of video calling, watching videos, playing Call of Duty and browsing Twitter. However, if you use this phone with the full HD Plus resolution instead of the Quad HD Plus resolution, then you can get even more battery life than the 1 day battery life that I just talked about. So expect 1.5 days of endurance with around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. And this is an amazing number for a phone that comes with a 4600 mAh battery. But endurance on a whole isn't an issue with the Xiaomi 12 Pro because the charging times on the smartphone are super fast. Now, Xiaomi claims a full charge takes about 18 minutes with the 120 watt boost mode, and while I never really was able to hit that benchmark, I can tell you that it generally took me about 25 minutes to fully charge the Xiaomi 12 Pro in the 120 watt mode. Of course, the charging times will also depend on the room temperature as well. Finally, we come to the camera, and it doesn't get any more seamless than this. So at the rear, we get 350 megapixel snappers, a primary lens with optical image stabilization, an ultra wide angle lens and a telephoto lens. The front is graced by a 32 megapixel selfie snapper. Now, one area that I feel that Xiaomi has put in all their efforts, went all in and hyped about the 12 Pro is the camera system, and boy oh boy, the camera on the Xiaomi 12 Pro delivers. In well-lit situations, the Xiaomi 12 Pro was able to capture detailed shots with sharp focus and good color reproduction. The dynamic range in photos was also great, and I would also like to point out that the camera is very fast to lock focus on a subject thanks to the motion tracking focus feature found in the camera settings. Apart from this, I was also impressed by this camera system's consistency in producing colors in images taken across all its 3 lenses. I mean, the color disparity is very minimal between the primary, ultrawide and telephoto lenses, so that is great. Otherwise, I also love the human skin tones in the photos, and by the way, this photo is taken with the beautification settings turned off and with AI off. Additionally, portrait mode photos also had superb edge detection, and you can see how despite the subject having curly hair, the phone has done a pretty decent job of capturing the image in this tricky situation. By the way, edge detection in portrait mode shots of objects was also very good. In this case, the images of the tablet and the bag that you see. Trust me, many phones struggle to take portrait mode images of objects, but the Xiaomi 12 Pro delivers. Coming to the night shots or shots taken in not so great lighting is where the Xiaomi 12 Pro really shines. Through and through, the camera is quick to adapt according to the environment and deliver bright photos at night. In fact, while capturing this particular photo, there was pitch dark when I was standing on the balcony, but the 12 Pro makes it look effortless by capturing a beautiful image, and everything just looks so natural, and of course, without zero noise in the photo. One more image I'm showing you guys, this was taken at night, and in this one, the source of light is just the street bulb near me. And then again, the environment was not so bright, but the final image that you're seeing from the phone that came out is also nice and bright and contrasty. Moving on to the front camera, general selfies or portrait mode selfies both during the day and night turned out good. That is given there is good lighting, so sharp details, natural skin tones, superb edge detection through and through. Although sometimes in a very bright lit scenario like in these photos that were taken at around 2 p.m. on a sunny day, I think the HDR performance could have been better as the colors in the background do seem a little washed out. But apart from this one issue, HDR generally works well, and overall I was satisfied with the selfies coming out from this smartphone. Now, in terms of video quality, the Xiaomi 12 Pro can capture up to 8K videos, but I don't personally use 8K, so my go-tos have been the 4K 30fps and the 1080p 60fps videos, and overall they look good. Now, colors, especially the skin tone, look a tad bit saturated, but I like them personally, and colors will mostly come down to personal preference, but good contrast and details plus wide dynamic range along with superb stabilization, so video recording is very good from the rear camera on the Xiaomi 12 Pro. So right now I'm shooting from the front camera of the Xiaomi 12 Pro. This is an HDR video. This is 1080p 30fps, and do note that if you're not shooting in HDR, then you can also shoot 60fps videos, of course in 1080p. So this is the 1080p 30fps video. This is the kind of quality that you get. I'll do a brisk walk. Looks pretty stable, I think so. The stabilization is on point, and even the colors for that matter, everything is looking super good. The phone is also doing actually the sunlight is falling on my forehead from here now, so you can also see how this phone performs in broad daylight. This is the kind of output that you get. It's quite sunny. Let me get here. Apart from this, how does my audio sound? Let me know in the comments, and overall, what do you think about the front-facing cameras video recording capability of the Xiaomi 12 Pro? Let me know in the comments. So what's the final verdict? Well, the Xiaomi 12 Pro has been a pleasant surprise for me, and in my opinion, as I earlier mentioned as well, this is the device that implies that Xiaomi has finally arrived in the flagship segment with authority. What I absolutely love about the 12 Pro are of course the superb display and audio performance. The design looks slick and premium, and it is easily one of the best looking smartphones that money can buy right now. Apart from this, the camera performance has also been top notch, but on top of everything, I will give a special shout out to MIUI 13, which felt very smooth and snappy in day-to-day operation, and not to forget the kind of thermal management and optimization that you get on this phone with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. I think that is amazing. As for the cons, and the only con that I can think of right now are the three apps, YouTube, Netflix and Prime, that I earlier mentioned as well. They don't work in 120Hz, instead they work in 60Hz, and this is the only con that I feel that I found in the Xiaomi 12 Pro. But then again, that's the con with MIUI 13, and that is something that Xiaomi can fix via software patch. But all in all, the Xiaomi 12 Pro is an amazing flagship smartphone that performs superb and is priced right. And that was my full review of the Xiaomi 12 Pro. So guys, let me know your thoughts about the smartphone in the comments below. And I'm also thinking of doing a camera comparison between these two smartphones, the 12 Pro, the Xiaomi 12 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro. So let me know if you'll be interested in that as well. But apart from that, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Mr. Phone. I'll catch you all in the very next one. Thank you for watching.